Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. I have some more truly mysterious stories for you to enjoy, so please sit back, relax, and let's get right into it. This story is called The Trails of Mystery. Brought to us from Death Valley, this event has been documented as far back as the early 20th century to present day. In the heart of Death Valley National Park, amidst the desolate expanse of desert and rock, lies a phenomenon that has captivated scientists and adventurers for generations. These are the sailing stones of Death Valley, enigmatic travelers across a dry lakebed known as the Racetrack Playa, leaving behind trails that defy explanation. Our story begins with a team of intrepid scientists, led by Dr. Elizabeth Carter, a renowned geologist with a passion for uncovering the secrets of the natural world. Eager to unlock the mystery of the sailing stones, they set out on an expedition to the remote reaches of Death Valley, armed with cutting-edge technology and a thirst for discovery. As they make their way across the rugged terrain, the landscape stretches endlessly before them, a harsh and unforgiving wilderness that tests their resolve at every turn. But Dr. Carter and her team press on, driven by a shared curiosity and a determination to unravel the enigma of the Racetrack Playa. Upon reaching their destination, the researchers set up camp on the cracked surface of the playa, surrounded by towering rock formations and the eerie silence of the desert. They marvel at the otherworldly landscape before them, the playa's surface littered with large rocks of all shapes and sizes, each poised as if frozen in time. But it's the mysterious trails left behind by the sailing stones that truly capture their attention. Stretching for hundreds of feet across the playa's surface, these trails weave intricate patterns that seem to dance in the desert sunlight, defying rational explanation and igniting the imagination. For years, scientists have proposed theories to explain the movement of the rocks. Some believe that powerful winds sweeping across the playa are responsible, propelling the stones along the ground like sailboats on a lake. Others suggest that the rocks are moved by the force of ice forming beneath them during the cold desert nights, causing them to slide across the playa's surface when temperatures rise during the day. But despite these hypotheses, the true cause of the sailing stones remains elusive. Undeterred by the mystery, Dr. Carter and her team embark on a series of experiments, deploying state-of-the-art sensors and monitoring equipment to track the rock's movements and capture data in real time. As days turn into weeks, the researchers endure the harsh desert conditions, their days filled with painstaking observation and meticulous analysis. They witness the rocks inching across the playa's surface, leaving behind intricate trails that shimmer in the desert sun, but the precise mechanisms behind their movement remain elusive. Just as Dr. Carter begins to believe that they're closing in on the truth, a sudden sandstorm sweeps across the playa, engulfing the researchers in a swirling vortex of dust and debris. When the storm finally passes, they emerge battered and disoriented, their equipment damaged, and their data lost. Undeterred by this setback, Dr. Carter resolves to continue her research, knowing that the answers they seek are within reach. And as she gazes out across the vast expanse of the Racetrack Playa, she feels a sense of awe and wonder at the mysteries that still lie hidden beneath its surface. For the sailing stones of Death Valley are more than just geological oddities. They're a testament to the enduring power of nature to captivate and mystify us, leaving us in awe of the world's wonders and hungry for the truth that lies just beyond our grasp. This story is called Lost in the Wilderness and follows the true story of 5 friends in California in 1978. In the winter of 1978, in the close-knit town of Yuba City, California, 5 friends gathered for their weekly ritual, a basketball game at California State University, Chico. Jack Madruga, Bill Sterling, Ted Weiher, Gary Mathias, and Jack Hewitt were like brothers, bound by their shared love of sports and a deep friendship forged over years of camaraderie. As the game ended, the 5 friends piled into Jack Madruga's turquoise and white Mercury Montego, their laughter echoing off the gymnasium walls as they made plans for the weekend ahead. But what began as an ordinary evening would soon turn into a baffling mystery that would haunt the small community for decades to come. The details of what happened next remain shrouded in uncertainty, but here's what is known. Jack Madruga's car was found abandoned in a remote area of the Plumas National Forest, nestled in the rugged wilderness of Northern California. Inside the car were the personal belongings of the 5 friends: wallets, IDs, and even Jack Madruga's prized basketball shoes, all untouched and eerily silent. When the men failed to return home, their families grew frantic with worry, and a massive search and rescue operation was launched. Helicopters crisscrossed the sky, while teams of searchers combed the forest floor, their voices calling out into the wilderness in hopes of finding a clue to the men's whereabouts. But as the days turned into weeks and then months, the search yielded no sign of the missing men. The harsh winter weather had taken its toll on the rugged terrain, erasing any trace of their passage and leaving searchers frustrated and disheartened. As the investigation deepened, puzzling details emerged that only added to the mystery. A few days after the men went missing, a Forest Service employee reported seeing Jack Madruga's car parked near a remote cabin in the forest, its windows rolled down and the keys still in the ignition. Inside the cabin, searchers found evidence that the men had taken refuge there, lighting a fire and consuming food from the pantry. But why had they abandoned the safety of the cabin and ventured out into the unforgiving wilderness? And where had they gone? These questions haunted the families of the missing men and fueled speculation in the community as rumors and theories swirled about what had happened that fateful night. Over the years, countless theories have been proposed to explain the disappearance of the Yuba County Five. Some believe they became disoriented in the wilderness and succumbed to the elements, while others speculate they fell victim to foul play or were abducted by unknown assailants. But despite decades of investigation and speculation, the fate of Jack Madruga, Bill Sterling, Ted Weiher, Gary Mathias, and Jack Hewitt remains a haunting enigma, one that continues to grip the hearts and minds of those who remember the Yuba County Five and the mysterious night they vanished into the wilderness. This story is called The Disappearance of Lars Mittank. The airport in Varna, Bulgaria, buzzed with the energy of travelers embarking on journeys both mundane and extraordinary. Among them moved Lars Mittank, his presence a blend of anticipation and apprehension. Tall and lean, Lars carried himself with a sense of purpose, yet a shadow of unease lingered in his eyes. As the sun dipped below the horizon on July 8, 2014, Lars found himself standing at a crossroads, his gaze fixed on the departure board looming overhead. The flickering lights illuminated a labyrinth of destinations, each one a potential path to adventure or peril. With a mounting sense of dread gnawing at his insides, Lars approached the security checkpoint, the weight of an unseen burden pressing down upon him. His heart pounded in his chest, a relentless drumbeat of fear and uncertainty. Then, in a moment of clarity, or perhaps madness, Lars made a decision that would alter the course of his life forever. Without a word or a backward glance, he turned and fled from the terminal, his footsteps echoing through the empty corridors like the whispers of a ghost. Outside, the night air enveloped Lars like a shroud, its cool embrace a stark contrast to the warmth of the bustling airport. He moved with purpose, his senses heightened, every rustle of the wind and every shadowy figure a potential threat. Security cameras captured Lars's flight, his image flickering on monitors like a specter in the night. His face was a mask of terror, his eyes wide with fear, but the reason for his sudden departure remained a mystery, a puzzle with no clear solution. In the days that followed, Lars's disappearance sent shockwaves through Varna, a city grappling with the sudden absence of one of its own. His friends and family scoured the streets, their voices raised in a desperate chorus of hope and despair, but Lars remained elusive, a phantom in the night. Then, just when it seemed that all hope was lost, a grainy security camera footage surfaced, offering a glimpse into Lars's world. In the footage, he wandered alone through a dense forest near Varna, his movements hesitant and uncertain, his face a mask of anguish. But what had brought Lars to this remote corner of the world? What demons had driven him to flee from the airport that fateful night? And perhaps most puzzling of all, why did he seem to vanish into thin air, leaving behind no trace of his whereabouts? As the years passed, Lars's disappearance faded from the headlines, relegated to the annals of unsolved mysteries and forgotten tragedies. But for those who knew him, the pain of his absence lingered like a wound that refused to heal, a constant reminder of the enigma that was Lars Mittank and the secrets he took with him into the unknown. To this day, Lars's fate remains a haunting puzzle, a riddle wrapped in mystery and shrouded in darkness. And as the world moves on, leaving Lars behind in the mists of time, the questions surrounding his disappearance continue to echo in the hearts and minds of those who dare to remember his name. This story is called Whispers of the Unknown, and follows the true story of Fredrik Valentich and his mysterious disappearance. The sun dipped low on the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink as Fredrik Valentich prepared for his flight. The air crackled with anticipation, a tangible buzz that filled the tiny airport with excitement and nervous energy. As Valentich climbed into the cockpit of his Cessna 182L aircraft, he felt a rush of adrenaline, his heart pounding with the thrill of adventure. The familiar scent of aviation fuel mingled with the crisp air, heightening his senses as he completed his pre-flight checks with precision. With a steady hand, Valentich taxied onto the runway, his eyes fixed on the horizon ahead. The roar of the engine filled his ears, drowning out the sounds of the world below as he prepared to take flight into the unknown. As the wheels left the ground and the aircraft soared into the sky, Valentich felt a sense of freedom wash over him. The wind whipped through his hair, the rush of air against the fuselage a comforting reminder of the power of flight. But as he ventured deeper into the vast expanse of the Bass Strait, a sense of unease began to settle over him like a heavy fog. The once familiar landmarks below became indistinct blurs, their shapes distorted by the shifting shadows of the twilight. Valentich's radio crackled to life, the voice of air traffic control breaking through the silence with its steady cadence. But as he listened, a strange sensation washed over him, a feeling of being watched, of being followed by something unseen. His hand tightened on the controls as he scanned the skies, searching for any sign of the mysterious presence that seemed to dog his every move. But try as he might, there was nothing, only the vast expanse of the open sky stretching out before him. As the minutes stretched into hours, Valentich's unease grew, gnawing at him like a persistent itch that refused to be scratched. He tried to shake off the feeling, to focus on the task at hand, but the sense of foreboding lingered, a shadowy presence lurking just beyond the edge of his consciousness. Then, without warning, it happened. A blip appeared on the radar, a blip that shouldn't have been there. Valentich's pulse quickened as he relayed the information to air traffic control, his voice tight with tension as he described the strange craft that seemed to be tracking his every move. As he attempted to evade his mysterious pursuer, Valentich's heart pounded in his chest, the adrenaline coursing through his veins as he pushed his aircraft to its limits. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched, that he was not alone in the vast emptiness of the sky. And then, in an instant, it was over. Valentich's radio fell silent, the connection severed without warning as his voice was swallowed by the darkness. The world around him seemed to hold its breath, waiting, watching as the minutes ticked by with agonizing slowness. In the days that followed, search and rescue teams scoured the Bass Strait, their efforts hampered by the unforgiving terrain and the relentless grip of the ocean below. But despite their best efforts, no trace of Valentich or his aircraft was ever found, leaving behind only unanswered questions and whispered rumors of extraterrestrial encounters. To this day, the disappearance of Fredrik Valentich remains one of aviation's greatest mysteries, a tantalizing enigma that continues to defy explanation. And as the years pass and the memory of that fateful flight fades into legend, one question lingers in the minds of all who dare to ponder its depths. What secrets lie hidden in the whispers of the unknown? This story is called The Dance of Madness. It tells the story of a mysterious plague which took place in 1518. In the summer of 1518, the town of Strasbourg, nestled in the heart of the Alsace region, found itself gripped by a bizarre and terrifying phenomenon that would baffle historians and scientists for centuries to come. It began with Frau Trophäa, a woman whose name would become synonymous with the madness that swept through the streets like wildfire. Frau Trophäa, a widow in her mid-40s, was seen by witnesses stepping out of her modest home on a warm July day. Her eyes, once bright with vitality, now held a distant, haunted look as she began to dance. An eerie spectacle that would set off a chain reaction of events that would haunt Strasbourg for generations. As Frau Trophäa danced, her movements graceful yet frantic, the townsfolk initially stopped to watch, amused by the spectacle before them. But as the hours turned into days and Frau Trophäa showed no signs of stopping, laughter turned to concern, and concern to alarm. Within days, others began to join Frau Trophäa in her inexplicable dance. Men, women, and children alike took to the streets, their bodies writhing in a frenzied frenzy that seemed to defy explanation. Some danced with joyous abandon, while others moved with an air of desperation, their faces contorted with agony. The spectacle soon drew crowds of onlookers from far and wide, eager to witness the strange phenomenon for themselves. Merchants shuttered their shops, and farmers abandoned their fields as the streets of Strasbourg became a stage for the macabre dance of the afflicted. Physicians and clerics were summoned in a desperate attempt to quell the hysteria, but their efforts were in vain. The town's leaders, fearful of the chaos that threatened to consume their once peaceful streets, declared a state of emergency, ordering the afflicted to be confined to their homes and the streets to be cleared. But even as the authorities struggled to maintain order, the dancing plague continued to spread, its grip on the townsfolk growing ever tighter. Some danced until they collapsed from exhaustion, their bodies broken and bruised from the relentless strain. Others danced until they could dance no more, their lifeless forms littering the streets like discarded puppets. As the summer wore on, the intensity of the dancing plague began to wane, its grip on the townsfolk loosening as mysteriously as it had appeared. By the time autumn arrived, the streets of Strasbourg lay silent once more, their secrets buried beneath the passage of time. To this day, the dancing plague of 1518 remains one of history's most enduring mysteries, a chilling reminder of the fragility of the human mind and the inexplicable forces that lie dormant within us all. And as the streets of Strasbourg lie silent, their secrets buried beneath the weight of centuries, the enigma of the dancing plague endures, a testament to the enduring power of the unknown. And that was the last story for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe if you would like to see more of this content in your feed. For now, goodbye.